Yes, indeed. In the style of the late, the greatest, the king, Edward Van Halen. Edward Van Halen was and is the most important rock, metal guitarist or guitarist in general, in my opinion. I was a fan years before I even started to play guitar, and to me, when I was a kid, the electric guitar was the same than this. And Edward Van Halen was and is the electric guitarist. I'll try my best to cover his style and everything. Okay, his sound, the famous brown sound. When we take a closer listen to the sound, it actually changed from album to album. From early, quite mid-focused, not that high gain, to really high gain, massive low end. Not that much of mids. But I guess the basic idea what Edward has described the brown sound is that he was always looking for a sound like Al, his brother's snare sound. Powerful, in your face, but still warm. Amplifiers, I guess we all know what amps he used. His legendary Marshall Plexi until late 80s, early 90s, when he briefly switched to Soldano SLO100, what was his main amp for unlawful carnal knowledge. And during those sessions, he also used a prototype of an amp which became PV5150. My gear, what I have now, is my trusty old JZN 2000 TSL lead channel, no overdrive, nothing like Edward. This is my interpretation of the brown sound. Then I also have a little bit of stereo delay and pitch shifting in the Logic. It's from THU's plugin. So this is kind of Edward's 90s live sound. So it's a stereo delay and a little bit pitch shifting, you get that chorus effect. Okay, what I love about his playing is that it was primarily based on blues, like mine, Pentatonics blues scale and symmetrical patterns. A good example could be something like this. This was in E, and basically he uses this wide stretch. And then this symmetrical shape, what he used a lot. So it's something like, you know, similarly what he used on the one. And so on. If you're in a key of E, then you just kind of start on the 11th fret. Pattern, what he used a lot also on at the end of Jump. And another cool example of symmetrical patterns is from I'm on Fire. So basically what he's described that it's like falling from the stairs and landing on your feet. Kind of like you just do something and then end up on the right note, like. Like that. Okay, those were some symmetrical scale examples. Edward's effects. MXR Phase 90, MXR Flanger, and on his latest tour, I have a guitar world here, he used, EVH's wah, bass super octave and bass chorus ensemble, then a Lexicon PCM 70 and Roland SDE 3000 delays for his wet-dry wedge rig. What I have here, well, the aforementioned Marshall, and then a pedal board picture somewhere there. Well, it goes in the tuner. Then the noise suppressor. Oh yeah, Edward used MXR Smart Gauge in the effect loop of the amp. I have it here. Then the signal goes to full tone Clyde Deluxe wah, then into MXR Phase 90. This is not the Van Halen one, as you can see. I have that too, but it's not here at the moment, so I'll use this. The Van Halen phaser has two modes, the script and the black letter version, and the black letter version is a little bit more aggressive. Then it goes into Flanger, BF3, get the job done. Then the Digitech Drop, which I use as an octave, and then Wampler's DB Booster, just in case if I need some more juice, kind of like I think what Edward used his amplifier's third channel. And then the chorus ensemble, what Edward used also, and the exact same settings what he used. Okay, then let's go through where he used those. Well, the Phase 90 Eruption, obviously. Then also a Talking About Low. And Atomic Punk, which is like. And I guess on some point he also uses a flanger. Okay, and then Phase 90, a lot of his solos. And then Flanger, well, probably the most known lick is Unchained. Which uses drop tuning. And yeah, the guitar is in E flat, so this is C sharp. So the flanger isn't on all the time. He just kind of presses this on and off in between. So it's like. Like that. Well, the chorus I think he uses on Drop Dead Legs, at least on the latest tour, like. so on. Well, while we're in drop D, let's look at a 5150 song, which I think is a great example how Edward uses chords and turnarounds of those chords and different voicings. Let me play the song a bit and then I'll discuss it. So that's a great example how Edward uses like different shapes of chords. So basically he starts this, it's a D, but he plays it like, so he uses A as a pedal point and like D2. Then it's E major. This sounds, I think, way cooler played like this, and then you can do the this is basically like an E, same like here, octave high, or and then this kind of like very 80s, so D, D, but A pedal point. This is again E, but with A, so E slash A, D slash A. And this is just a D and E, but again A. And he uses these kind of chords like sus chords and lots. So let's put this back to standard. Like, you know, Panama. So there basically is like, so it's E major, E sus4, and then it's like B major slash E. Really cool these like. So he plays standard power chords, but then a lot of times he uses these kind of different shapes and inversions, which is, I think, harmonically richer. At the beginning of his career, he used a lot of five chords, but also like mixed with those sus chords, like let's say somebody give me a doctor. And he used also minor and major diets like like that. Okay, then harmonics. He used those in many different ways. Like in a riff, like let's say pound cake. And then he also used tapped harmonics like this. A good example is also on tapped harmonics, Dance the Night Away. So basically what you're doing is you tap one octave above. Then also he used, your basic and like pinch harmonics. And you do a pinch harmonic and then do a whammy bar dive. Good example is a beginning of Judgment Day, where he also uses whammy bar in a riff in a really cool way. So what you're doing there is you're basically pressing the bar down before you pick. Like that. Okay, tremolo picking. He used that a lot onto probably the most known tremolo picking lick of all time is the one from Eruption. But he also used a lot of to end his solos, like this tremolo, like tapping. Well, Edward was a master on that, and he basically invented the whole thing. So he tapped like arpeggios, like in Spanish Fly. Or Hot for Teacher. Those kind of things. And he also tapped symmetrical patterns, like at the end of Hot for Teacher, where it is this kind of So it's this kind of symmetrical shape, and then when he switches the string, he does like a hammer-on from nowhere, like. And he also used this hammer-on from nowhere, like. So like. Then he also tapped like within a scale, like let's say this kind of league. This was basically A minor pentatonics, and he also used like slide, so let's say this kind of lick in E minor pentatonic. So it's like first two boxes. So and like all kind of crazy stuff. Sometimes, you know, he did like and also this, that he bends a string. Those harmonics I showed. So tapping for Edward wasn't just a trick, it was just the way he played. So he constantly switched from tapping, and it was so flawless. But if you try to play Van Halen solos and stuff, they really hard. I mean, because it's all over the place, but somehow it just makes all the sense in the world. They're melodic, they're wild, they're unpredictable. It's like a roller coaster ride. I just love it. And then he also used tap, kind of like what he took from funk bass players, like. And he also used two-handed tapping. Judgment Day's solo from Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, he basically plays 7 chords, something like this. And yeah, the octave effect, he didn't use that much. On the article he said that he used basically on the end of drop dead legs, but you know, you could use it on let's say spanked. I think he actually used a 6-string bass, but you know. I could talk for hours and give examples of his playing, because he was a genius. Imagine what would world be like if Edward hasn't been here. It's unthinkable. He's responsible for so many inventions, sounds. First you know, real high gain amp, tap, everything. And, you know, like myself, my heroes, Randy Dimebag, we all took this stuff from Edward, but he invented it. It's mind-boggling. And I'm very glad that I happened to be on this earth same time as he, and I had a chance to see him play live. It's those moments I still cherish. He was like a superhero to me. I didn't think he exists. But then when I saw him playing there, it's... yeah, so we wouldn't be playing the way we do, using the gear we do, without King Edward. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was interesting and informative. The king might be gone, but the king lives forever.